Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is a little late, but it's Saturday, April 4th, and you know what that means. It's time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, feeling just a little bit disappointed with the road to WrestleMania. It is I, Jeremy Pierce. Welcome, one and all. You know you can check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. And today's show, we are going to take a look at the first quarter of 2026. We will be going all the way up until March 23rd. Just because the recap usually comes out on Monday, so I can't cover that last week. So we're going to do up until that point. We're going to go over everything, the top stories, some of the top stories, the best events, the matches, and the stars. But for now, you know what's next. So just go on and hit my music. All right, so let's get into the top stories so far. I'm not going to cover everything, but we're going to cover, the important ones, the special ones. So BDE, I guess you can call him wrestling influencer, who had a just childhood dream, he signed with TNA, and now he regularly wrestles for TNA. That's something to cheer for, to celebrate. It's really, really good. Maki Ito, I don't know, she's hilarious. She's awesome. She signed with Stardom, and that shocked a lot of people. A lot of us assumed she would sign a primary contract with AEW, but no, she signed with Stardom. That doesn't preclude her from working AEW again, because Stardom is a partner of AEW. TNA made their long-awaited debut on AMC, and yes, we're happy that they have a major contract now, but it was not a good show. I think they had 3 matches. It was a lot of talking, and the production was absolutely horrible. It was just really, really bad, but they seem to have fixed that and have gotten better each and every week. At the Royal Rumble, ladies and gentlemen, Gunther retired AJ Styles. So that makes 3 legendary wrestlers that Gunther has retired. That would be AJ, John Cena, and Goldberg. A lot of us didn't, expect AJ to retire at the Royal Rumble, maybe for it to be a WrestleMania match, but he is retired from professional wrestling. Powerhouse Hobbs did the job on the way out and is now a part of the WWE. He signed with the Fed. He's going by the name Royce Keys, but here's the thing, you wouldn't know it. He debuted at the Royal Rumble, and he has not been on TV since, I think he's wrestled a couple of main event matches. Ava, shockingly, the former general manager of NXT, departed the WWE. We don't know why. We don't know her reasoning. It kind of just happened, and Robert Stone is now the GM of NXT. We thought it would be William Regal, but no. Ava left and deactivated her Twitter. Chelsea Green was rightfully pissed about what Michael Hayes said about her on Unreal. First of all, WWE Unreal is not a good show. It's just not. But he said that Chelsea isn't essentially a star. She's not Charlotte. She's not Tiffany. Her job was to make stars like that, and WWE thought it would be fine to air that. And if you watch professional wrestling, if you know professional wrestling, you know that Chelsea Green is an amazing talent and can be a star. AEW, well, we got some fuck Ice chants, so much to the point that it made mainstream news, and this is good. Obviously, you won't get fuck Ice chants in the WWE. because well, they're beholden to MAGA and to Donald Trump. But AEW has Brody King, who is a big supporter on free speech and civil rights. And yeah, fuck ICE. Wrestlemania is not selling well. Not only are the WWE's going back to Las Vegas, but tickets are about 25% behind where they were last year, and that's been going on for about a month. And now, yes, they've done some deals to sell tickets, but no, it's not working. And the funny thing is, they're going to lie about the attendance and say they beat last year's attendance. They're going to lie and say that. Ticket prices for WWE events are absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen. Just not good. Mickie James made her return to TNA. The hardcore country legend is back in TNA, and she brought along some friends. That would be Goldie, that would be Candice Michelle, who signed a contract with TNA. I believe this is her first stint in TNA. ODB made her return. I said Terrence Rowe, yeah. So they're all here. They're all in TNA, and they are all feuding with the Elegance brand. And we have a match coming up. I believe it'll be Mickey, Taryn, and ODB versus the Elegance brand. Finally, it came out that WWE has a minority ownership stake in AEW. Not only that, but we know that the WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, has been sold to Paramount. We don't know how this deal is going to go down because Paramount has no money at all. AJ Styles and Sid Vicious are both going to the Hall of Fame, along with Stephanie McMahon, Bad News Brown, a few others. I think Dennis Rodman. But Styles and Sid Vicious are both rightfully deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, and they will be going in this year. Danhausen had a horrible debut at, I believe it was the Elimination Chamber. It was really bad. But he has recovered and has become an integral part of the WWE. He's been absolutely amazing, and he hasn't even wrestled a single match. The Dogs are now all elite. Clark Connors, why can't I think the rest of the Dogs' names? Clark Connors. I am drawing a blank, ladies and gentlemen. Who are the Dogs? Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, and David Finlay. Oh God, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not taking that out. I drew the blank. They are all elite. You kind of figure Gabe Kidd was coming over. But the big question mark was David Finlay. Would he join AEW, or would he join his younger brother Uriah Connors in NXT? And he essentially joined AEW because, well, WWE wanted him to join NXT, and he was like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. The legendary Hiroshi Tanahashi retired. Wrestle Kingdom 20 was his final match against probably his greatest rival in Kazuchika Okada. There was some talk of possibly having Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle, and people were saying, well, Tony Khan would not let that happen. Tony Khan would never say no to that. He's a wrestling historian. He's a wrestling nerd. If the opportunity arose itself for Tanahashi to wrestle Shinsuke Nakamura in his final match, yeah, Tony Khan would have said yes. And some shocking news: the Road Dogg Jesse James was released from WWE, and he is gone. He was the head writer of SmackDown. He caught a lot of flack over the years for just the quality of SmackDown. SmackDown still hasn't recovered since its exit. AEW has announced My AEW. It is their personal streaming platform where you can just watch all of AEW and Ring of Honor. It is only available for non-United States users. It has an amazing price. It is an amazing deal. It's just well worth the price. Stand to Deliver actually aired earlier today, but it aired on YouTube, shockingly. So not on ESPN, not on Peacock. It aired on YouTube because, well, the deal with Peacock is done, and the WWE ESPN deal is only for WWE pay-per-views. There was a really bad incident that happened in OVW as one of the referees was injured in the match and he had a seizure. And here's the thing, they continued the match. It was not good. It was, the referee was Dallas Everett, who he suffered it was a really, really bad medical emergency. And Al Snow caught a lot of flack for, he called out AEW many months ago, and this happened under his watch, as he's the head of OVW. The Mercedes Moné crash out has continued. She has lost all of her championships and relinquished the last one, as she they couldn't work out a deal to get her over to, I believe, Malaysia for that final match, but all of her belts are gone, which means she will be returning to AEW television soon enough. Tommaso Ciampa debuted in AEW, became an immediate player, defeated Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship, and he's here to stay. Now we're just kind of hoping that Johnny Gargano smartens up and comes and joins him. And lastly, Pro Wrestling Eve put on a banger, ladies and gentlemen, a banger of back-to-back pay-per-view events. We'll get into those a little bit later, but geez, man, it's great to have Pro Wrestling Eve back. Those were the top stories of the first quarter, and we shall be right back with the events of the first quarter. All right, so the events for the year, we had a couple that were great and a couple that were not so great, but Wrestle Kingdom 20 was absolutely amazing. Very solid show. I mean, most of the matches were pretty good, but we know why we were watching Wrestle Kingdom. There were 3 matches on the card that absolutely lived up to the billing. First was Sayuri defending, it was a winner takes all match. Sayuri and Saya Kamitani, winner takes all. Sayuri put her IWGP Women's title on the line. Saya Kamitani put the Strong Women's title on the line. It was just a solid match, man. These are 2 of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. And of course, we had Yodo Tsuji versus Konosuke Takeshita in a winner takes all match themselves. Tsuji was the global heavyweight champion. Takeshita was the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and Tsuji won that match in an absolutely barn burner. But of course, we know what we were all there for. No Knees Tanahashi took on Kazuchika Okada in Tanahashi's retirement match, and there's nothing more left to say. I mean, this was a GOAT. This is a legend of the game, and he well deserved that retirement. Then we had the Royal Rumble, and of course the WWE gives us, these whack ass shows, and I guess you can justify putting on 4 matches for the Royal Rumble, but remember, pre-merger, the Rumble regularly featured 6 to 7 matches. So Liv Morgan finally won the Women's Rumble. It was absolutely fantastic. Gunther retired AJ Styles. Drew McIntyre defeated Sami Zayn and retained the WWE Championship. And Roman Reigns won the Men's Royal Rumble. Mind you, all of this took place in Saudi Arabia, and WrestleMania next year will be in Saudi Arabia. This was just a kind of sad event, and it was carried by Gunther and AJ. Liv winning was not a problem at all. It was more so Roman Reigns becoming the Royal Rumble winner. Then, of course, AEW does what AEW does. Revolution, more often than not, is usually the most consistently good pay-per-view that they put on year in and year out. Revolution is nothing but a banger from top to bottom. We had the national champion battle royal that bled over into the main card. Then we opened up with an already match for the year candidate with the Bucks and FTR for the tag titles. Tony Storm and Rina Shafir put on a solid match. Mox Takeshita, no time limits, Continental Championship, just absolutely amazing. The Divine Dominion finally defeating the Babes of Wrath to become tag team champions. Swerve and Brody King jockeying for position in the world title scene, and Thekla and Chris Statlander having a 2 out of 3 falls match. The shocking trios championship win by Jet Speed and Mystico, Andrade and Bandito, just burner of a match. Darby, and just the story with the dogs, and of course the Last Chance Texas Death Match. Just Revolution is constantly a good show. This show is sold out. We've got a good story with Hangman moving forward. What more can you ask for? And then they also gave us Grand Slam. So Revolution was March 15th, but if you go back earlier in the year, up in February, they gave us Grand Slam Australia, the TV special. Just solid. This is how you do a TV special. It doesn't have to be great, it just has to be good enough to entice the fans. And Mox Takeshita started there. The Babes of Wrath put the titles on the line, taking on Mega Bad. Hangman and Andrade, number one contenders match. The loser gets their head shaped. Like, it was just a good show. Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher in a ladder match for the TNT title, and of course MJF and Brody King. It was just a good show. That's how you do things. And I would be remiss, ladies and gentlemen, not to mention the back-to-back banger of shows that Pro Wrestling Eve puts on. It kind of caught everybody by surprise. Oh, Eve is back? Okay. Like you haven't heard a lot of news about them. But the first show was on the 6th of March. This one took place at the Big Penny Social, and just a really good show with a really good card. The standouts were Jamie Hayter and Miyu Yamashita in a time limit draw. Danny Moe getting in there. Alex Windsor and Nasamine defeating Sapphire Reed and Shiori. And the main event of Dash Jakasa taking on Anita Vaughn in a Falls Count Anywhere match. So if you thought night 1 was good, night 2 blew everything out of the water. It took place at the Indigo at the O2, and ladies and gentlemen, just what can I say? The 16 sudden death battle royal, Asmin and Sapphire Reed, the Eve tag team titles were on the line. Harley Cameron got a good singles win. Willow put the TBS Championship on the line against a very, very game Nina Samuels. Alex Windsor defeated Shiori to become the Strong Women's Champion. Holly Barlow and Lana Austin took on Charlie Evans, Jessica Troy with the tag titles on the line. Charlie, the artist formerly known as Dakota Kai, made her return to pro wrestling and took on Chris Statlander, who was the Eve International Champion. In the main event session, Martha Martina defeated Rio for the Eve Championship. Like, it was just a great show. And I remember waking up the following day and just hearing about how awesome it was. So I went and watched it, and yeah, it was just that good. So we go from those events to the matches of the early part. And we'll start with the WWE. They rarely, they don't put on a lot of great matches week in and week out, but we had some here from SmackDown. I'm not gonna give you the dates, but you can go look them up. From SmackDown, we had the 3 Stages of Hell match for the WWE Championship on the line. Drew McIntyre finally won the title, but his reign was off for naught from Raw. Gunther and AJ Styles. This was before the Royal Rumble match, ladies and gentlemen. Gunther and AJ Styles were just really, really good here, where Gunther snuck that tap out from NXT. This is probably my favorite WWE match of the year. There's a lot of people surprised. It was for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships as Aruka took on Fatal Influence and the Ren QCC. This was a number one contenders match, my fault. And it was just go from the get-go. And obviously, this continued the story of Zaruka. Their split and the Ren QCC just are really, really great together. From Saturday night's main event, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. This should have been the WrestleMania match. I repeat, this should have been their WrestleMania match, but no, we got whatever we got. This match is probably as good as their Wrestle Kingdom match. From the Rumble, obviously Gunther and AJ Styles in the retirement match, and that's it for the WWE. Over on New Japan, there's a lot. You can really go through a lot, but we're focusing on one, and that's, of course, we've got two, actually. We've got Yota Tsuji to catch it in the winner take all match, and of course, the Tanahashi retirement match. I will be remiss not to mention that. Just an awesome showing. From CMLL, I got two women's matches. This is from the all-woman show, La Noche de la Amazonas, Megan Bayne versus Olympia. Just two meaty women slapping women meat. And of course, Persephone defeating Mercedes Moné for the CMLL Women's World Championship. And then AEW, they will give you at least 4 to 5 bangers per month. So from Dynamite, we had Grand Slam and JF Bandito for the World Championship, right? Stat and Thekla for the Women's World Championship. We got Andrade and Swerve. AEW slowly kind of brought back the ranking system if you just pay attention to who's wrestling who. Ciampa, Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship. Just awesome there. Also, Kyle Fletcher and Ciampa for the TNT Championship. From Dynamite, Swerve and Kenny, where Kenny busted out that vertebrae murder and Kenny, but Kenny got that W. Fletcher, Mike Bailey, these two dudes just have chemistry like no other. This is probably the best TV match of the year. Once again, this was for the TNT Championship for Revolution. Of course, we've got matches from Revolution. The Young Bucks and FTR tag team titles. Just there's nothing more to really say about that. From Revolution, Moxley and Takeshita. The No Time Limit match for the Continental Championship, Andrade and Bandito. And of course, the Last Chance Texas Death Match. Revolution, like I said, has always been a great show, and you can see it here. AEW does what AEW does, and they will give you a banger of a match every single month. We'll be back one more time with the stars of the first quarter. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, the stars of the first quarter. Now, this lady hasn't been on TV since losing the TBS championship at New Year's Smash, but she's been wrestling all around the world, losing matches, but also giving back to the industry that she just loves so much. Mercedes Moné has started the crash out, has started the downfall, and she will be on your television set soon. And I expect her to return after what's the next for Dynasty. I expect her to return after Dynasty, right before I guess WrestleMania starts back up. Then we have the Babes of Wrath finally losing the women's tag team champions. They were great first champions. They were shocking first champions, but they took on all comers, and now we get to see what they do solo, but they will always be tight. Then you have Miss Athena just being your forever champion and helping Ring of Honor, just elevating that brand, elevating the people that she faces. Roman Reigns shockingly won the Royal Rumble. I couldn't believe it. A lot of us couldn't believe it. He even put down winning the match. He said he was in the Royal Rumble through email. Let that sink in. Drew McIntyre, who has probably been the male MVP for the WWE over the last couple of years, he's just been great. He's just been a joy, and he deserves so much better than what they are actually offering him Jon Moxley, the ace of AEW. What more do you need to hear from me about Jon Moxley? He is the man of AEW. Randy Orton won the Chamber, and Cody Rhodes said, yo, I want the real Randy Orton. I want you to listen to those voices, and Randy Orton is giving him that. Now, what happened on SmackDown, which we'll get into on the recap on Monday, not so great, but Randy Orton has been great so far. The most over rival star right now in professional wrestling, Ricky Sosa, he's signed with TNA, which is great. They need top young talent like Ricky Sosa. He's already over. He's got the charisma. He's got the interest. Now he's got to put it together. And the MJF became your new world champion, and he is doing the damn thing. He is taking on all challengers. He's beating everyone so far. He got through Brodito. He got through Hangman. And now he's going to have to deal with Darby. He's going to have to deal with Kenny. He's going to deal with Swerve again at some point. MJF has just been on the road since making his return. Same thing with Kenny Omega. Had a rough go at it with Swerve Strickland, who's also on this list. Swerve came back from his injury at Full Gear, and he's been on the road. Kenny and Swerve are low-key some of the top players in AEW, have been carrying that brand. And you have Charlie, the artist formerly known as Dakota Kai, made her much awaited return to professional wrestling, taking on Chris Statlander at the Eve show. I believe it was Eve 146, and it's good to have her back. She put a little weight on. She's got those kicks going. Of course, she's got the double knee braces on, but it's good to have her back. And then you have Thekla, ladies and gentlemen. This woman's just crazy. She's great. She's the current women's champion in AEW, and she's just oozes charisma. She's so confident in herself, and I absolutely love it. Then you have, in my opinion, the best women's wrestler in NXT. And you give her some time, and she's catching a lot of love because of how good she is and what we're projecting her to be. But Kendall Gray is absolutely awesome. It's rare that wrestling comes so easy and so naturally for someone just new, but she's putting it all together, and we can see why the WWE absolutely loves her. And lastly, Mike Santana finally won the world championship, and has been holding it down as the face of TNA, spinning the block, carrying that brand. He went out and bettered himself, and it is working. But that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen what we got coming up for the month of April. It is Wrestlemania season. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. I see you when I see you. And of course, as always, Anna J, Priscilla Kelly, Isla Dawn, Willow Nightingale Bailey, and Chris Statlander. Holla at your boy.